We're going to talk about the car and the oil drain plugs. Um, and then maybe we'll do something with the car again in the future. I don't know how it's all going to play out. I got to go clean up and get ready for dinner. I'm a mess right now. Maybe I should get up and start doing something right now instead of just sitting here. What's up, Chris? Bobby? We have 4 freaking games tomorrow. 4 volleyball games tomorrow. Starts at 10:30 in the morning, and we're not going to be done until sometime late tomorrow night. It's like an all-day tournament. Appreciate you. So all the drain plugs got sent off today that I told people. We're gonna get the plastic upgraded drain plugs from Dorman. Dorman sent me boxes upon boxes upon boxes and said, "Hey, we know you're the Ford guy. Here's a bunch of plastic drain plugs that you guys can give for those plastic pans that are the easy insert, so they spray down instead of back at the sway bar." And they said, "Go ahead and give them away. Do what you want, and give them away." And I'm gonna make Moose is gonna be a moderator now. Congratulations, you are now a moderator, Moose. Um, so I got all the drain plugs sent out off, but I could not send the drain plugs off, or the one for Canada. I couldn't send that one off because there's like a customs form you got to fill out, and then there's a ton of information you got to put on the form. Then you got to know the person's full name, which the gentleman didn't give me his full name. I'm gonna have to go back and fill out everything. Um, and yeah, so I got that sent off. The Lincoln Town Car, you know, I'm sad to say this, but there were 2 people that had the opportunity to email me that really needed the car, and unfortunately they snoozed. I went and replied to them. I put my email in out there to them. You can even go back to the original video where I talked about it, and you'll see 2 different people in the comment section where I responded with my email. If the one gentleman's not there, then he must have deleted his comment or something like that, but I tried to message 2 different people. I never got an email back. I've been waiting freaking forever for one of the 2 people to message me. I'm over it now. I'm not even going to give the car away now. I tried to do what I was supposed to do, and I wanted it to go to a family that really really needed it. Now I think I'm just going to keep it. I'm over the giveaway stuff like that because it always seems to be some kind of hassle, you know. And I don't understand why it's such a hard thing for people to go back and check their messages. I mean, this was a car that could have carried somebody the next 5 to 10 years easy. Very well taken care of, meticulously taken care of. A lot of brand new stuff where they wouldn't even have had to worry about replacing anything for a long time. Heat and AC working, but they snoozed, and now they don't get the car. So the new cab ride, that new cab ride, I'm having like this internal conflict with myself right now. I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and he was like, that cab would be perfect for the Coyote swap. The cab would be cooler with the Coyote swap than the Thunderbird would because the cab would handle better, and the Coyote would bolt right in with no modification, no nothing at all, because you can use the actual 4.6 motor mounts to bolt the Coyote in. You don't need Coyote motor mounts for that. They will bolt up. And it already has the LSD and stuff. It already has the 8.8 rear end. The Thunderbird only has a 7.5. I would have to swap the rear end and stuff over. Maybe I could turn the Thunderbird into something else. Maybe I could take the 4.6 valve out of the cab and put it in the Thunderbird, and then take the Coyote with a 6R80 and put it in a Crown Vic because it bolts right in. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I work on semi trucks too. If you go back to my original videos years ago, that's what I was showing people how to do: adjust clutches, do torque rods, kingpins, pulling Allison 9000 series transmission, Vector trucks, everything. Kenworth, Peterbilt, doesn't matter what it is. Internationals, I was working on it all. All is well. How are you? So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I think, I want to coyote swap it. I think that's what I want to do. I mean, if he ever wants to come by the shop, Brighton Auto, in Brighton Park in Chicago, I mean, I can do small stuff there. I can do, all kind of with Roush Performance Package. I don't know if I want to do Roush Performance Package. I want to try to retain the oil cooler, the heavy duty oil cooler assembly. Um, for a second, this is gonna sound silly. For a second, I almost wanted to bail on the Grand Marquis right now because I have that 462 valve ready to go in. I was gonna take that Kenny Bell 2.1 liter blower before I coyote swapped it and go ahead and put it on that Crown Vic and drop it down in there and see if I can't get it to bolt up and put that 2.1 liter blower on that 462 valve and let her eat. But I don't know. A Ford Ranger with a 4.0, it's like one of the best packages that you could possibly get. Yep. There's a used car guy. He's a Mexican dude that lives by me, and he does a lot. He gets a lot of cars from his buddy that buys them at auctions. And if you ever need a car cheap, like quick, he already knows. He's typically got three or four sitting around that he gets, and he's got like the Explorer Sport Track with like the little bed in the back, the 4 liter in it. And he pulled up this morning in one, and he was like, "Oh, it's for sale. I got it from my buddy." And I was like, "Oh, it's cool." Cool, nice. That sounded really good. It sounded smooth. And he said, "Oh yeah, no check engine light, no ABS light, no nothing. Runs really good. Just got some rust by the rocker panels." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I bought a new car too, and I showed him the Crown Vic, and he was like, "Oh man, that's so cool. How much did you buy it for?" And I said, $500. And he said, "I'll give you 1,000 for it right now, the way it sits. Does it run and drive?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "I'll give you 1,500 for it the way it sits right now." And I was like, "Well, why would you? Why do you want to buy it so without even?" He's like, "Oh, because those sell really fast." And he was like, I could just take some big rims and put on it, and some ghetto dude from the neighborhood or somebody will come by and buy it for like $4,000, no problem." And I was like, you, you, are you stalking the stereotype in the hood? Pre- the predator of the stereotype in the hood. And he was like, "Dude, easy. I buy that car from you, $1,500. I buy $1,000 set of rims. I throw it on it for $2,500 in the hole. I sell that car for $4 or $5,000 all day. Somebody will come and buy it from the hood around here. One of these young guys with money that sell drugs or something like that. They will come by and they will pick this car up." I was like, "Wow." uh, that was pretty pretty I guess forthright of him, and he was like, "That's how it is, man. It's reality." He said, how do you think I make a lot of money?" It wasn't really an auction. It was I found out through listening to some of you guys. Um, that you really have to be careful doing auctions because it's considered gambling per se or some kind of category. And if you don't do things a certain way, you can really get in trouble. So I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do the auction. I want to give it to a family in need, like a single mom or a single father or something like that. And I tried a single mom and a single father, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. It's nobody's getting back to me, nobody's responding, nobody's checking their messages on the video that was up. I don't think a lot of people know how to go back and check their messages, but sometimes on the giveaways, you got to go back to that video and you got to read through it. And you got to see if you were notified if it's not showing up in your notifications on your channel. And unfortunately, I waited and waited and waited, and I even brought it up on several live streams over and over again, trying to entice somebody, whoever, to come forward. Nobody did. The second person, nobody did. And I said, you know what? I'm done with it right now. I got too much stress going on. I'm doing too many things in the community and stuff like that. Trying to work more with homeless people and stuff now, trying to do my part because I realized I am wrong for not working enough with people in need, and I probably should be giving more than what I am. So I'm doing that now. I'm trying to. The last thing that I need is to worry about, some person a week later after I'm trying to do a giveaway. Normally, you get a couple days, and if you don't come forward and within a couple days, you're out. You get no choice, and that's what ended up happening. What did he say? Hey, Rachel, how are you? Big rims, boom booms. It'll be gone by the same evening. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's hood life though. Keep it getaway car. How about giveaway car? No getaway cars. I don't run. I have no reason to run. If I can't fight my battles straight up, I don't do the crime because if I have to go somewhere to get locked up, I ain't paying the time. I'm not doing that again. When I was younger, I got in some trouble, but once I became an adult, I left all that behind me. The military changed my life. Where are you from, Katie? Or Kate? Is it Kate or Katie? I don't know what I can call you. I'm calling you Katie like I know you. Like, oh, sorry. No disrespect. I didn't mean that. I appreciate that, Wes. I bought I treated the guys today to Connie's Pizza. They loved it. I got everybody Connie's Pizza, and last week we had Paco's Tacos. Paco's Tacos is one of the best taco joints I've had in Chicago. Right off Archer, down there past Archer and Kedzie. Just absolutely delicious. Paco's Tacos. If you guys are in Chicago and you haven't checked out Paco's Tacos, you need to check out Paco's Tacos. Fire. I'm talking fire. Ask for the chicharron tacos. Mm, 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 mm. Nah, you might not like the chicharron tacos. The chicharron tacos it's basically the fat, and it's juicy and it's spicy and it's absolutely delicious. You bite into it, my fat's showing. This? Oh yeah. Yeah, we've had this for a long time. Really long time. It's very comfy. I'll put it on. I'll fall asleep down here in the chair and I'll put it on. If I can't sleep upstairs in the bed and I'm tossing and turning, I'll come down here and I'll throw this over me, and one of the dogs will come jump in between my legs and they'll sleep right here, keep my legs warm and stuff. North Alabama. My pops is in Haleyville, Alabama. Him and my mom are down there in Haleyville. You gotta you gotta like file it a certain way. There's something you gotta do about when you do auction stuff. It has to be like because it fits under specific categories and certain ways. You gotta file your paperwork with taxes and everything else. It's like, ugh, come on, man. You know this the crazy part about it is though that it says the organized crime unit, the CPD organized crime unit has owned it for so since 2004, so 19 years. So we'll just call it 20 years. It says that they've owned it for 20 years and they bought it with 207,000 miles on it and the car only has 212,000 miles on it. They put 5,000 miles on the car in 20 years. They never really drove the car. The car was in service for like 5 years, 4 years, 5 years straight of nothing but abuse, 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 driven, driven, driven every single day as a cab. And they probably hammered that thing. And then when it was at the end of its life at 207,000 miles, which it still has a lot more to go, they sold it. And then the police picked it up and used it as an undercover sting operation car and put 5,000 miles on it in 20 years. Oh yeah, Muscle Shoals. Yeah, yeah, they're not too far from you. You know, somebody tried to buy the stuff that's inside that cab from me. One of the guys messaged me and he said, "You know that stuff inside that cab's worth a lot of money because guys are still trying to make their cars look like that when they go to car shows and stuff." And I was like, "Huh?" Hi, Rich. When and why did Ford change transfer case fluids? Thanks. I don't know that they did. They've always run Mercon LV in their transfer case fluid. I mean, for as long as I know. Even the ULV transmissions ran Mercon LV. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. If they changed it recently, I can't give you that answer. What's up, Juan? Hmm. You bet it had to have been a regular patrol car at one point in time. Guess it ended up being a stakeout. No, I mean, no, it wasn't a regular patrol car at one point in time. And the reason I say that is because it wasn't only owned by the CPD, it was owned by Blue Cab as well. But that car was ordered with the police style package with the extra coolers for everything and the limited slip diff with the 355, the axle code DK. Um, yeah, I mean, it had everything that the even had the police intake and stuff like that. It was ordered that way. And so a cab company ran the hell out of it for 5 years before selling it. And then CPD picked it up. Anthony's doing good. So the second day was really rough for Anthony detoxing. The third day was really, really, really bad for Anthony detoxing. The fourth day he started to come around, and I think he went out and he started moving around a little bit, starting to feel a little bit better. Drank a little bit of fluid, ate a little bit of food, and then last night or this morning he messaged me and he said, "I feel so much better. I got like at least 6 hours of sleep last night, and I'm doing really, really, really good. I can't wait to take a drug test." And um, he said, I'm doing really awesome right now. And Joey ended up going to the hospital. I think she tried detoxing on day two. She was having such withdrawal issues that she ended up having to call the ambulance. They took her to the hospital. I think they gave her some methadone or something like that to kind of stabilize her and try to help bring her off. And then I think either yesterday or the day before she was supposed to go back. I've been talking to Anthony on and off all day today. He seems like he's in very good spirit. He's doing very well. He's been taking some mental notes. He's been recording some notes and stuff in his phone. He's been trying to think real positive. Seems like he's really coming around. I appreciate that, Jim. Hope you do too. You know what I thought of, Grace? YouTube censorship is off the. It is. Um, Quick question. I'm looking at a 2.0 EcoBoost 18 Edge. I think that was part of one of the trouble vehicles. If it wasn't that one, it was the EGR cooler. So I want to say yes. Honey. Health is coming along. I mean, it is what it is. I've been trying to do better. T, how do you know so much about this whole? I'm confused. You must know Anthony, and you've probably seen his video. Are you on the streets too? Do you have a story to tell? Because it seems like you know a lot about Anthony, and I didn't even say all that. So tell me something here. The brights on my '06 down car don't work. How do I troubleshoot what's going on? I'd have to be on the car to tell you, man. I couldn't even begin to start telling you right now. I'd start with trying to figure out if you have a good circuit between the brights and your turn signal selector. I would probably try to troubleshoot that first. Check all fuses and relays and stuff, do all the basics. Check the connections. I appreciate that, classified. He needs all the prayers he can get. V10 Ford engine, I like it. Oh, that was your okay. I see, yeah. I appreciate you sharing that with me too. Halo, ask your question, man. You said, man, I was trying to get a little help from you on a truck question. Everybody's trying to get help from me on every question. I'm the Ford boss. I had people stop in all day wanting to see me, shake my hand, have me work on their vehicle, ask me questions. They call me up and they ask me how to repair things over the phone. This is my life now, but no disrespect. If I don't answer your question right away, it's because I haven't seen it or I've got 1,000 things going on and I'm trying to help everybody else. Oh, you met him. Oh, how did you meet? I met him last weekend. Oh, I know who you are now. Why didn't you tell me? Goofy. You goof. You had me confused because I don't ever see you talking on here. You're more quiet than anything. And now all of a sudden, the one night we're all in here talking, you're active and you're. So you said, Katie, is it? So I'm confused. Is this a man or a woman? Because, or because it's a girl's name on the account, but you said I'm married to my childhood sweetheart. She has been through the same things. Or are you lesbian? I mean, I don't care either way. We're just trying to figure out. I worked the streets in Chicago a couple years ago before I got out of the their life. So I'm confused because sometimes women will have YouTube accounts, but they don't really get on them, so their husband is able to access their account and they get on there and do it, and vice versa. 5.0 is a noisy engine. What are your thoughts about adding Lucas to quieten the motor down? Lucas doesn't really work. A lot of people claim it does, but then when you actually meet somebody that uses it, they're like, yeah, it might make a little bit of a difference, but it's more wasting money than anything. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. I do know that there was a dude on here that had a 3.5 EcoBoost that used Lucas to slow down the rattle or stop the rattle on startup, and he swore it worked. I never experienced that. I appreciate that, Reman. Okay, cool, Katie. No problem. We're just trying to know so we could keep the dude straight or the girl straight. Whoever starts becoming disrespectful, I gotta have your back. So do my moderator. So that's kind of why they ask questions like that, is to try to figure out, all right, that way we have your back and people don't become disrespectful. Christopher, yeah, I mean, I'd love to drive a Ford GT, but I've driven some fast cars, man. Um, Probably one of the fastest cars I've driven was an 1150 horsepower 5-liter Mustang Roush package, and the guy kept snapping the factory Ford racing axles in the rear. I mean, the thing was just lightning fast. It was so fast that you couldn't keep the thing on the ground. Yeah, every time it didn't matter what gear you launched it in. You could be in sixth gear, or you could be in fourth gear, barely moving, just dogging it down. And as soon as that RPM would start to come up, it'd start to build boost immediately. You smoke the tires right off the thing. It was Chevy Silverado mechanics said they put in a new engine, but why would they cut the transmission dipstick down? I appreciate that. Thanks for joining when you can. Um, why would they cut the transmission dipstick down? I don't know. Who knows? Shaggers, it's rough because like I have in the shop right now a, and this is the stuff nobody talks about. Everybody's like, oh, buy a Toyota, it's the best, and buy a buy a Honda, it's the best, and buy a Nissan, it's the best. And I get to working on these cars, and I'm replacing a Toyota engine, a Toyota transmission, a Honda engine, a Honda transmission, a Nissan engine, a Nissan transmission, and I see everything pretty much the same in my shop. Everything. I mean, I do notice that Toyotas do get more miles before they actually start showing failure, but in my shop I get a little bit of everything there, and I'm working on Toyotas, Hondas, and Nissans just as much as I am everything else. And we get a lot of issues with electrical problems in Toyotas in the shop. Hondas, they burn a lot of oil, and their engines are kind of junk. Once they start hitting 120, 140,000 miles, Smoke like a freight train going down the street. Needs an engine. The Kias and Hyundais, absolutely trash. The 3.3s and 3.5s, absolutely just garbage. And where we're putting, I went through three engines now. The engine that's in the vehicle, it's crystal clean inside. Only has like 120, 115,000 miles on it. It's already done. Ordered another engine with 83,000 miles. When it showed up, it looked like absolute trash. So we refused the engine, sent it back. The new one showed up, took the valve covers and stuff off of it because my mechanic in the shop, he was like, "Hey, I thought I was gonna pull the sensor out that picks up on the cam signal, and when I pulled it out, I seen all the nasty soot on the bottom of the sensor. So I pulled the valve cover on that side to look and see what's going on inside that engine, and it is all carboned up inside the top of that engine where somebody hadn't been changing their oil. So I said, take me out there and show me this. And he takes me out. Hey, Dilly Dave, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the super chat. It helps. We just we just put out about 40, 50 bucks today just on sending giveaway like little free oil drain plugs out. So any of that, the super chats, they help because they go towards helping the channel out and helping other people out, like Anthony on the channel. But I pull the valve covers off this, and I'm looking in there, and it's all carbon buildup and just big giant lines, stuff that you could just pick chunks up off. You know, just I was like, nope, this engine's going back. I am not putting this in the customer's vehicle. They've already paid for this. This is not what they paid for. I would be a fool for putting this inside that customer's vehicle. And no, I'm not doing that. Give me another one. I mean, the only thing I could think of, and the reason why they did that to the dipstick tube while putting that engine in, is because sometimes the dipstick tubes go through the exhaust manifold and they come out the top. And if you try to put the engine in and you don't pull the tube and stuff out, or you pull the manifolds off first or something like that, like some of the old 5.4s where the tube comes up by the exhaust manifold, you know, there could be a reason why they did that. Oh crap, I forgot. And they went to go put the new engine in. They're like, do we pull this out of here? It won't come out of the transmission. It won't come out of the engine, whatever it is. It's stuck in there. I don't know. Pull the dipstick out, cut the tube in half. Let's put the engine in. Then once we put the engine in, we'll feed the top half of the tube back down. We'll epoxy it or something back together and then put the tube back in, and nobody will ever know. You know, it all depends on how you want to look at it. I don't go to any hockey games anymore, but I love going to hockey games. I love going to them. But after the last thing that I seen on the hockey stuff was that dude that got mad, and I think he tripped or he went to kick. He went to kick the guy, and the guy tripped or ducked his head down or something like that, and it sliced his throat open. It just happened not too long ago. Cut that dude's neck open and he bled to death. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, that was not a... Your 2018 Coyote is currently at a Ford garage getting the 10R80 rebuilt. I'm learning that these transmissions have issues. Baby, this truck do very little towing. Now, John, can I get on you for a second here? I'm not going to yell at you or anything. I'm not going to yell at you, John, but I want to talk to you about something here. I want to talk to every one of you here. There's 107 of you. I appreciate that super chat. I really do. There's 105 of you here. When you buy a new car, how come none of you, or how come all of you, all 105 of you right now, don't go on the internet and research the car that you're buying? Because John, if you would have went on there and seen that 2018 F-150 Coyote, my videos would have came up on the top of the charts. I almost guarantee you on Google, because I have so much time telling you the ins and outs about that vehicle. The 18, 19, and 20 5-liter F-150 had what was called a spray arc, plasma arc liner in it. It did not have cast iron sleeves. Those engines are more prone to 18, 19, and 20 had a higher compression, 12.5 to 1 compression. They are really throaty, really healthy engine. Whenever you put an exhaust system on it, guys love the power and the grunt of those because of the compression, just the power and stuff that it makes. It really is a work of art. But they have their problems. The spray liner in the cylinders, they consumed oil like crazy. The 10-speed transmission had a bad CDF drum in it where the sleeve would slide and you would get cross flow or cross pressure bleeding. Would cause all kinds of erratic shifts and misshifts and hard and up and down clunks. There were some issues with those trucks, definitely, that should steer people away. But if you guys just took a few minutes to jump on and say, man, I really like this 2018 F-150, let me go on and do some research. Or let's just go on YouTube and type in 2018 F-150 and let's see what happens. 2018 F-150 issues or problems or rattle, something like that. Just put in some keywords. You could find a whole bunch of stuff and like, you know what? I don't want these problems. And who's this Ford boss guy over here talking about oil consumption? And then you get to see all the engines that I'm replacing and how they don't have them even available still to this day, and they're all on back order. You would have never bought that truck. I'm just saying. Yeah, I love Shelby's. Wow, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. How do we check the transmission fluid then? Just got brand new transmission. I would have to look on all data to figure out exactly. Normally, are you putting a new tube in? If you're putting a new tube in, you got the dipstick and stuff like that, then all you'd have to do is just slide it down in there, look at the crosshatch on the bottom. Some of it says it has to be hot. Some of it has a cold fill level. You get an idea. Just basic way. I appreciate that, Eagle Eyes. Yeah, I mean that video went all over the country, and people see me in public now, and I'll just be straight with you. I am straight with everybody. I love immigrants. I love migrants of all. I love the illegals. I think they all deserve a certain level of care, just not here. And I said what I said. P0182 fuel temperature sensor location is driving me nuts. Fuel temp sensor? Fuel temp sensor? I ain't never seen a fuel temp sensor. Fuel pressure sensor, not a fuel temp sensor. No, don't send them up to Canada. Canadian people are already having a hard enough time. Tech Gaming. I'd have to disagree with Hondas and Toyotas. I own both. Neither one of them has issues. All right, Tech Gaming. Here's what I'm going to ask you. You have to disagree with me. Do you own a shop? Do you work on these things every day? Do you have the experience that I have? Do you put your life online like I do right here and I show people these cars that I work on every single day? So, even though you disagree with me, at what point does your disagreeing with me have to trump my reality of seeing the volume of cars that I see every single day. Can you explain that? Everyone has a right to live anywhere. We are all here for it. Man, get out of here. Ain't nobody trying to get your ass out of here. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. My parents have a F-150 2017 with intake manifold runner position sensor that is broken. Now can't get the part. So this is what you do. You pull the intake manifold runner off and you use some epoxy like JB Weld. Clean up the point that broke off real good. This is what listen to what I'm telling you. Take the part you broke off and put it back in the sensor. Take the sensor and line it right back up with the back of it. But before you put it together, take a little bit of JB Weld and put it in between the crack that you cleaned out, and then remount the sensor right back on in a position where it lines up perfectly, and put the screws in that sensor and leave it there. It'll hold that nub centered inside there, and let the center dry first. Don't put no more JB Weld. Let the center dry first. And come back like an hour later and take like a little fine brush or something, or a little fine like toothpick, and take some of that JB Weld and put it on the outside of that crack all the way around where that sensor's at, or as much as you can. It'll hold. It won't break again. It'll hold. I've seen people do it. Or they lightly turn their welder all the way down and they bzz, 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 and they clean it up just a little bit. Pull it right out of there. Or they take it to they take that intake manifold to a welding shop, and a guy will just lightly TIG it. He'll just buzz it. Bzz, 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 bzz. Done. Clean it up, give it right back to you. They got little fine tools that they can clean it with. The arc liner process works best with the NASCAR vehicles. What was the point of Ford to go with this process? They should have kept the cast iron. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Thank you for that super chat. Canada is too cold for illegals. 06 Audi A6 with a 4.2. Those are pretty fun, Dave. Just had the EGR cooler replaced because of the coolant consumption. 2020 Escape 2.0. Nothing in the cylinders. Yep, EGR cooler on those. The 2.0s have a problem with the EGR cooler, the newer ones. What's up, Ghost?
Good. Out. Jack's out.
Illegally for 12 years. They've been here longer than that. I've met dudes in Chicago that have been here illegally for 20 years, own their own homes. They've been here working for so long that they've saved up enough money to just buy their homes outright. That's the only way they could do it. Probably there's some of them longer than that. I was talking to a Venezuelan guy.
Out.
I was talking to a Venezuelan dude today. I was like, man, every time I see you, you're working so hard and you're doing a great job. And he was like, thank you. I came here to work. And his response was, I didn't come here like these other people that just want handouts. Even though I'm from Venezuela and they're from Venezuela, you notice that we're different than they are. We came way before they let the people out of the jails and stuff like that, and people started. He said, I've been here. I came here to work. I came here to get my life together, and with the hopes that I could be a citizen here. I'm not here trying to get handouts from people and stuff like that, like the people from my. And he said, I will admit, there's a lot of them there have been taken care of by the government. But when the government cut off all the funding and there's not a lot of jobs, they had nowhere to go. But I knew I didn't want to come here and look for handouts. I came here because I wanted to work real hard and get my life together. I can respect that. Even though it's wrong, I can respect that more than I can these other people that I just cannot stand. And they're so rude. They are so rude. A lot of them are rude, man. Just flat out rude. The story that really gets me the most is how they're waiting at these shopping centers, Menards and Lowe's and Home Depot, and they're casing out people's cars and they're trying to open the handles and stuff like that so another migrant can come behind them if they get a door that opens up, and they could go up to the door and open it up and take all the change and candy and everything else that's in there. They ransack your car if you leave it open, if you leave it unlocked. Or the ones that are so demanding that if you don't let them help you, they give you all these dirty looks and stuff like that. And then when you do let them help you, a couple dollars is not good enough to them. They want some money. But the story the cop told me, where the guy kept trying to ask the other guy, "Can I help you load your wood? Can I help you load your wood? Can I help you load your wood?" And then he turns around and says, I don't really need no gracias, I don't need any help. And he keeps asking him and keeps asking him. And then the guy's finally like, whatever, man. If you want to help me, you can throw some of this wood in the back of this truck. And then he gives him the $3 that was in his pocket. And then the guy was so upset that he got such a little amount of money that he smashed the guy's mirror on his truck and broke the mirror and left it hanging. And then the Venezuelan migrant ran from the cop. I mean, that's disgusting, man. That's the type of stuff that's happening in my neighborhood now. It ain't just about people wanting work. There's so many of them here. They're getting so mad that they can't find work. People aren't hiring them. They can't get money. So they've turned to begging. And then the begging turns to violence now because they're at their last resort. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do to provide for their family. And the thing that sucks is their own countries don't even want them back. Their own countries just flat out do not want them back. I would put every one of the Venezuelan people on a plane and I'd fly them right back to Venezuela. And I'd work with their government and say, look, we're spending millions of dollars over here trying to support your people. They're coming back, but we're going to try to find a way to work with you so we can restructure some of this economy here. Maybe we could get more oil from you. Maybe we can import more stuff from you. Some kind of way that we can help you guys keep them here so we can continue working on our stuff. And maybe we take the money and stuff that we're wanting to send to Ukraine every time we turn around, take some of that money and restructure it to some of these other places where they're flooding here and try to help them a little bit. I don't want to support Ukraine and what's going on over there. I don't care about that. Honestly. It's not my business. It's not my war. Come here, Jax. Come here. Come here. All the way. Come here. All the way up. Come here. Come on. You think you're going to get something in there, don't you? Come here. Huh? Come here. Hey. Don't bother him. Come here, Pate. Come on, Pate. Come here. Lay down. Lay down. You're choking me. Lay down. Lay your booty down. What are you doing? It's a little baby girl. Little baby girl. Little baby girl. Little baby girl. Well, there's one of them. This is Peyton. She's a rescue. She's very, very smart, very fast. It's like a little, kind of some type of hunting dog or something. She's a mutt. But she's She's the best doggy. Yeah, T, you're right. That's exactly what they said on the news too. They were going up to each one of them and they were like translating stuff on some of these networks and they were like, "Oh, we're just here to work. We just want better jobs and stuff like that." They're not here seeking asylum. They're not. 99.9% of them are not here seeking asylum. They're just using that as an excuse to get in, and the government is 100% letting them do it. Here's the process. Once you pay your way all through the Darien Gap and all the way up through Mexico, and you go through it's a hard journey. I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard journey, and some people lose their lives doing it. Some people lose their kids and all their money doing it. But once you get to northern Mexico, and you get through like Eagle Pass, you swim the Rio Grande, whatever you got to do, you get to the other side. All you got to do is turn yourself in. That's it. You turn yourself in. You go to jail for a couple days. You get let go. You're on documentation. You're on paperwork, and now your process begins. Now you can go wherever you want in the United States. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody. Jax, come here. Come here. Come here. Jax, are you jealous? Is that why you're doing that? Jax, Jax, Jax. Hey, come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come up here and say hi. Oh, you baby. You're a real baby. You're a real baby. You're a real baby. He's the dog that was out just walking the streets. And some lady not too far from here found him. Some lady real close found him. I think he was over on like Southwest Highway in Ridgeland, somewhere in that area. And we saw him on, Grandma saw him on Facebook, and Grandma said, maybe we can help you, because the lady needed help. She already had 5 dogs from the neighborhood that she rescued, and she was like, I can't handle a 6th dog. I need somebody from this neighborhood to start helping me. And Grandma said, okay, we'll help. And then Grandma said, hey, why don't you guys come over and meet the new dog that we're just helping with right now. So we go over to Grandma's, and we're meeting Jax, and that's how Grandma gave him his name, and we loved it, so it stuck. And what was his original name? Bane? Bane.
Like Bane, just with a B.
And I was like, Bane.
That's just a really bad name.
Ooh. No. Nah, not Bane. And how we found out about that is we had the police come by and scan him. Nothing. They tried, like, I think a couple different scanners or something like that. Nothing. The shelter didn't want to help. And then we took him to the vet to get him checked out, and possibly if he, get his vitals checked and stuff like that, so we can see if he's a healthy dog. Does he need to be on any medication or anything? And the vet was able to identify a chip in between his shoulders, contacted the owner, and she don't live too far from here, maybe like a couple miles from here. And then we got the phone number from the vet on the owner. She talked to the lady for a little bit, scheduled the time to have him picked up. And then I talked to him when I found out who she was and her number and stuff like that. And I said, look, I gotta just tell you how much of a blessing it is to have had your dog for the last month. We love him. He's an amazing dog. If you ever need any help, if you need a dog sitter, if you guys are ever out of town, you need a break or something like that, we would love to have him as your permanent dog sitter whenever you need, if we're available. And she was like, wow, that's amazing. And I said, can I ask you one thing, though? He's got a new name now, and he responds to that name very, very, very well. His name is Jax, and he loves that name. Immediately responded to it. And she said, okay, I'll do that. I'll leave his name as Jax. And I guess if it would have been me, I would have been like, can I come get my dog right now? Oh my God, my child and stuff is so disgruntled over it and stuff like that. And Um, she didn't. She said, "Well, we'll come pick him up tomorrow." Well, tomorrow came along. There wasn't no picking him up. There wasn't no more text messages. There wasn't no more anything. They didn't want this dog back. We kind of taught him some bad habits. Where he came from, he wasn't able to get on the beds. He wasn't able to get on the furniture. He wasn't able to really jump on stuff or whatever. We let our dogs do the same stuff that any of us do. If they see us on the couch, they're allowed on the couch. If we're on the bed, they can get on the bed. We're not that type of family. We treat them just like they're our kids. You know, if anything happens to them, we respond to it and react immediately. And that's how we are. And I think she's seen in one of my YouTube videos that I shared with her of him loving all over our little one first thing in the morning. He'll get up and get on the couch and wrap his paws around her and like kiss on her and stuff like that because that's they're buddies. They're both kids, both of them. So it's they really like each other. And I shared that video with her to let her know that he's very well taken care of. And she was like, "Oh my God, he's so happy." I said, "He is. He's really happy here. He's got a big yard and he could run around anywhere. He can go wherever he wants. He's a good dog. We don't even. He can go outside now. I'm terrified of it, but he can walk right outside and go right to the truck. He won't run away. He just follows the missus anytime she goes out there. He just follows her. He don't try to run and go nowhere else. I mean, you could tell he really loves being with the family because he didn't try to run away and go nowhere. He just stays with us. And it's unfortunate that they never came and got him, that they never tried to follow through for the little one, for their little 10-year-old. But I'm glad they did what they did because we are really providing a very, very good, very high quality life for him. He's very well taken care of and spoiled, so. You're from Iceland and your wife is Cuban and you named your dog Ice Cube. I love it. I love it. That's nice. Peyton, she's a hugger. She wants to be on you, close to you, and Peyton, come here. Come here, Peyton. Up. Come here.
Nope, I'm fine.
Come here. She's gonna sit next to me instead of.
I taught her tricks.
Peyton, come here. Come here. Come here.
Nope.
Come on, Momo. Come on, Momo. Come on, Momo. Come on, Momo. Okay. 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 She's watching the kitchen because there's some good smells coming from the kitchen. What are you doing? You're smelling, you're sniffing up in the air. Can you say hi? 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 Come here. It's okay. You're not gonna fall. Anyway, that's Pate. Pate, she's a big baby. She either come here.
She
It's
big
okay.
baby.
She's a big baby. She either sleeps between my legs or mom's legs every night. When's the next test coming out? I have extreme oil I'm going to be testing tomorrow. I have Lucas oil stabilizer I'm going to be testing tomorrow. I don't want to give you guys everything at one time because I want to keep some content going. And I think I want to do motor coat. I want to do motor coat tomorrow, Lucas oil stabilizer, and extreme oil additive, concentrated TBN extension formula. We named my dog Mother, gave us CR. Nina. Nina.
Is it
I like that name.
Nina?
Nina.
Oh, that's a pretty name.
That is a pretty name. It sounds neat.
Yeah, that is pretty. You just stick it.
Yeah, you could leave it in there.
She's still sitting on me.
You could just have it open now.
She'll sit here for hours. She won't move.
She'll stay there for hours.
And she falls asleep if you pet her real lightly and just keep petting her. It,
Start sleeping.
she'll start closing her eyes. And she'll fall asleep. But then your hand, it almost feels comfortable, so it's hard to stop petting her. Because it makes your hand feel good. What's up, Marty?
Want an egg?
Just discovered dried Play-Doh all over my rug. Good night, y'all. Looks like you're bringing out the hot water or the steam cleaner or something. You did miss the FR3 test. It did very well. It did better than the, I was able to put a full additional weight on it, and it actually ran for a little bit before it. So normally, when I do the Pro Lube, I get to the fourth weight, and as soon as I put the fourth weight on it, it locks up the machine and it's done. With the FR3, it worked actually really good. I was able to take it and pour it in the thing. It ran all three, ran through the fourth weight. I got to the fifth weight. It ran for a little bit and it locked up, and I was like, oh, that's an achievement. That's the first actual additive that we've seen that actually made an honest difference. It made a difference. You know what dogs are funny looking at them whenever they run and whenever they're grown up are Dobermans. Dobermans, they look so goofy because the puppies, they get so tall so quick. And when they try to learn how to run real fast, they run sideways. So it's like a dog tracking down or like a truck with a rear tandem or something that's not clocked right. Looks like they run sideways down the road. William said to crawl up between my wife and I just far enough to use my pillow as a human. Aw. What did you see? Did you know my Uncle Joe? Huh?
Your phone runs on my finger, I don't get to it.
Okay. All right. Did you know my Uncle George, who owned Munch Choppers Throttle Masters right down the street from you? Miss him since he passed. My little cousin Tracy is running the shop now, I think. No. How is Chicago a beautiful city? Chicago is a very beautiful city itself when you get in like downtown Chicago. But when you start moving out to the outer skirts of Chicago, away from the lake and stuff like that, away from the big city, it kind of gets nasty. People trash the streets. They don't pick up after themselves. I can clean everything and then come back the next day and the whole street is covered in trash and stuff all over again. Thank you, baby. The people of Chicago don't take care of Chicago. It's a mess.
No way they don't.
Your rooms are clean. No, I meant just the internet.
Rich, my husband, has a 2013 Ford Lariat. It's getting a little rusty on the bumper. Any suggestions on how to fix it? Well, unfortunately, rust you really can't fix. You have to cut or grind out. So if it's already starting to get rusty, you can try to use like a rust converter to put on it. Or you might be able to use like a fluid film or a surface shield to kind of slow it down, stop it from getting worse. But once the rust starts, you got to grind it out of there, cut it out of there. I appreciate that, Margie. BG Dynamic Clean Combo and the 08 F-150 with 200,000 of preventative. No, if it's running good and you don't see any excessive buildup or anything inside the engine, it's been pretty well taken care of. I wouldn't. Just use regular BG. So what are you supposed to do? Dip the meatball in the sauce?
Yeah.
Dang, girl. That's good.
Why sound surprised?
She made like a lemon, what is this? A lemon sour cream sauce?
Wait, yogurt sauce.
A lemon Greek yogurt sauce. And then she made some turkey feta meatballs, trying to keep it healthy for dinner. Did I learn my talent from the military? In what, like automotive? The military or the VA paid for my GI Bill, paid for me to go to school to learn. Dennis, I appreciate that. I'm trying not to let the stress get to me. How do you say your name? Is it Phoenix? I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing and being here. Love your channel. Ford, former military trained Army Special Forces, and went private sector, former armed guard and in-house bodyguard for Ivana and Ivanka and Eric Trump. Hell yeah. How about a Halo Second Amendment is a boss. There are many people you don't even know that respect and love you. If I ever get close to you, I'm stopping by your shop. I appreciate that. I had another YouTuber stop by, and he wanted to say hi, and he had been telling me for a while he was going to come see me, and he did. And we had a great time. It was really nice seeing him. And then there were a bunch of people lately that had came by to show support and stuff like that, and that have been wanting to come by for a while, and they finally did. And you guys have actually brought a lot of business to my shop, and I really appreciate you. You know, once you find like-minded people that think like you, and they want the same things that you do, and they know how to treat people right, I guess that's what makes the world the difference that we can make it. Because lately I've been getting more and more and more business since you guys have been kind of sticking by my side and supporting me, which I really do appreciate that. Some of my renters, man, when I was checking in on one of our vehicles, the renter didn't expect me being there, and I surprised them. He mentioned the brakes were making a funny noise, right? I love you too, Marty. Appreciate you, man. Spark plugs, any brand most recommend, or is it vehicle OEM dependent? Motorcraft. Use Motorcraft plugs. I think it was intentional. Mechanical carnage. I think it was. I don't know. Halo says Florida has your 6 if you ever decide to move forward.
By Disney?
Yes. She said by Disney. So the answer is yes. I appreciate that, Emily. You left me a 5-star review. I appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. Sorry for talking with my mouth full. If I moved to Florida, is there any place that I would prefer? Huh.
Orlando. Kissimmee.
Yeah. I could do that. Kissimmee?
Kissimmee.
It's not Kissimmee. It's Kissimmee. I could do Kissimmee. Orlando area.
I'll be at Disney.
Who's your primary parts place if you don't stock it? We go through World Pack. People need a good mechanic in their lives. That's you, Rich. It's an important job in society. Oh, says my number one customer. He's literally, this guy right here is like literally our number one customer in the shop. I finished the vehicle. He takes it back. He's got an amazing HVAC, air conditioning, heating company. And they do really good work. And he's actually helped me out when I really needed him. He didn't have to. He didn't really know me from Adam. I mean, we done some business together and stuff like that before, but I felt really good about Spiro. And we were gone, right? Guess when we were gone, the heat didn't work or something like that. We weren't here. Do you remember that? Earth to Sarah. You remember that? When the heat didn't work? We weren't here. And he made his way out here when nobody was here. It was late. Dark, I think. And he fixed our heat for us. Actually ordered the part, hooked everything up, fixed it for us, and said, you know what? Don't worry about it. You take care of me, I take care of you. Best customer. I love him like a brother. Maybe like a gay brother, but that's okay. With no explanation. Yeah, he brings us he drops off one, we fix it, takes it back, we drop off one, fix it, takes it back. It's just it's a good relationship. I love it. Keeps the guys busy. I appreciate that, Phoenix. Treasure Coast here. I love being in Florida, man. When I was in Florida's a little heavy with the humidity. But Florida's one of the most comfortable places I've actually been. And when I thought I was going to be really hot and I wouldn't be able to stand it, I was completely fine. My father back in the day. Look at those handy eyes. What are those?
Supposed to be handsome.
What do those handy eyes do?
Stupid autocorrect.
This is the kind of stuff I get from her. It could be something random.
Can I add it?
No, you can't. How do I feel about WorldPack using Uber drivers for delivery parts? They do that all the time, man. They get their drivers and stuff backed up, and they got to do what they got to do. We use O'Reilly sometimes, but WorldPack gives us the best deals, and we get the best warranty through WorldPack.
I deleted my error.
Lots of customers. Audi, BMW, European. Yeah, I'm working on a lot of that. 11 Ram, 1500, 545 RFE, hard shift first, second, since 20,000 miles. Change ATF fluid at 55. Any thoughts on what it could be? Yeah, maybe a valve body. It gives your eyes a handy. Oh, God. It gives my eyes a handy. Just in case you guys need to know, ICU is the missus. She's not on here very much. She doesn't say very much. But when she does, she's typically saying something about my eyes. I don't know. Anyway.
I love them. They're pretty.
What would I pick, O'Reilly's or AutoZone? If I had to pick? Oh, I hate that I'm going to even say AutoZone. I would have to. I like O'Reilly's, don't get me wrong. They're okay, but I'd have to pick AutoZone.
Do you want more?
No, I'm good. You give me enough. What did it say? Rich handling those meatballs. Oh my God. William, you're jealous? Got the white stuff there too. You're jealous? If you ever spend a winter in South Florida, you'll never go back. Schools are great here too. I mean, Florida's just a good place to be. I mean, just let's face it. People can live there. They don't got to worry about nothing happening to them. They can just live their life. I mean, I'm sure there's obviously bad stuff that happens everywhere, but Florida is like one of the most free places that you can live. Why AutoZone? Let me put it this way. Every time that I've needed something that AutoZone hasn't been able to or didn't have, they have been able to find. And they typically bend over backwards to try to make the customers happy in a lot of situations. AutoZone has a program that if you buy a part from them and you're a shop and that part fails, they reimburse you for, part of the labor, most of the labor, or whatever it is, and they pay for the part. They actually take care of the shop. O'Reilly may have that too, but that's never been offered to us. AutoZone's just always been on really good standings with us. Like when it comes to getting parts and finding things that we really need that nobody has, they can get it pretty quick for us. Do I think Chicago is as bad as Seattle is? Oh yeah, I think it is. Maybe worse. Oh yeah, we let it rip.
Leave it.
Good thing we don't have an HR department at work. I'd have been fired a long time ago. I think all of us would have been fired a long time ago. I sucks because I am the HR department. Mm, I don't know if you want to move to Texas because that's where most of them are coming from. They got like millions down there, from what I understand. If New York has over 160,000 and we have something like 30 or 40,000 here climbing daily, can you imagine how much Texas and Arizona have? It's way too many. Thoughts on the Cybertruck? What was the Cybertruck? The Tesla truck? Looks pretty cool. Looks strong. I mean, they compared it to a lot of different vehicles. Um, what would they put it up against the Rivian, and they put it up against, I don't know. There was a bunch of trucks like the 6.7 Power Stroke, and didn't it outpull all of them? Maybe the 6.7 Power Stroke barely outpulled it, or maybe I don't know. It was like one way or another. You plan on going to a Cubs game next summer with your brother? I'd like to stop by and see your shop. Sure. Brother's retired recon, 33 years in. He would like to meet a fellow vet. You guys are a lot alike. Well, I appreciate that. Come by and see us. All right, fellas, ladies, gents, brothers, sisters. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. I appreciate y'all. I do want to get off of here. I don't want to sit on here forever. My hand is getting numb from holding this phone, and I have to keep switching back and forth from hand to hand to let the blood come back. And it's not fun anymore. I mean, you guys are fun, but the hand going to sleep is not fun anymore. Yeah, Steve, they just keep telling you. William said, me, my wife, and her father own the store. I'll pick on him, and when he says he's going to complain, I send him to Jess, my wife. Yeah, I get a phone holder, but then I can't be comfy in my chair. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, the people that used to own the old Ford dealership where I was at, the people before them that owned it, um, they had a answering machine that when somebody wanted to call the HR department, the answering machine would answer to like Scruff the dog, and you could leave your complaint for Scruff the dog, and he'd call you right back. Yeah, they were no HR department. If you can't handle it amongst your peers and taking care of the problem, then somebody don't need to work there. You just want to move somewhere where they don't alter your Second Amendment. I mean, Texas isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. And they're trying to do that all over the place, all over the country. Hopefully, these states hold out and they don't let it happen. But it is what it is. I'm gonna get off of here. I just want to say good night. I'll see you guys in the morning. We're gonna do some oil testing in the morning. And yeah, I'm getting tired. I appreciate that, Paulie. Chevito. Just waiting for everybody to get their good nights in before I close this down so I don't shut y'all down. Well, I think when I shut it down, you guys can still talk in the comment section for about 30 seconds or something like that, right? So, with that being, huh? Without further ado, and I would hope that every one of you would thumb up this video because you like the content and you like the eyes, because she says you gotta like the eyes. And we'll do this again soon. So we're gonna stop saying, good night, I love you. She loves me. She loves me. How did I F up my left knuckle? Where? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But this one is broken, right? Or this one right here? This knuckle? It's not the same size as the rest of them? Is that the one you're asking about? I put my hand through a windshield. And then I had to have an external fixator put in my hand to draw all my bones back together. I was being stupid and I was young. And I was mad. So I punched the windshield. And I hurt myself badly. Okay, I'm gone. You guys have a great night. Be blessed. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.